Hello, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Welcome to Northtown News. I'm Marty Levinson.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet Hope, Chicago. 224 446. Come on, baby, now get your business fixed. Come on, honey, don't you wanna go back to the lemon light?
Hi there, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Want to wish a get well to my friend Craig, who by the time this is on the air will probably be more than healthy and fit. But, thinking about you, all the best of luck. And so CAPS, Community Policing CAPS24.org, Jewish Chicago will come out bigger and better than ever. More copies than we've ever distributed. We're going to expand our judicial system. And speaking of judges, about the only thing in print that you'll find outside of Jewish Chicago, and actually it's not in print, it's on the web now that I think about it, it's a judicial blog, the only judicial blog, therefore making him the best judicial blogger in all the land. But it's a very good judicial blog, and I wouldn't miss it. I read it all the time, named after the old Buffalo Springfield song, For What It's Worth. Jack Leyhane, how you doing?
Avi, how are you? Good to see you again.
Good, my pleasure. So we just finished the filing period, of course. Fair disclaimer, it's nobody's filed the objection petitions yet.
Right.
So that could change just about anything.
Right. There's going to be a lot of objections filed within a few days of this taping, but they haven't been filed yet. And when they are, there's going to be some people who jump out. I mean, we've got one candidate who's going to have to jump out of a race on Monday, Brian O'Hara, who is filed for the Carzinas vacancy and for one of the vacancies in the 7th Sub-Circuit, I think. So he's going to have to make his decision. He's got to pull out of one of those races.
Right. You're allowed to file in more than one, but you're
only one countywide and one in your own sub-circuit.
Yeah.
So you can only do two, and he did that. And of course, he filed in the very, very crowded Rifkin Crothers vacancy in the 7th Sub-Circuit. We can talk about that or anything else you want to talk about while we're here.
Well, there's some certain neighborhoods we concentrate on more than others, and let's talk about the. There are some competitive races in the 9th. I don't think there's any. Is in the 10th. I don't know. It's competition though, and the 12th.
The 10th is going to be very competitive. I don't think I don't know Mr. Kugias. I know he ran last time.
That's the 9th we're talking.
The 9th. We'll start with the 9th. Judge Jerry Esrick, of course, is the incumbent, if you will. He's sitting there by Supreme Court appointment.
Right.
He was reappointed to the bench after the last time when he fell just a little bit short to Megan Goldish. And now he's got two opponents that have filed against him, pending challenges, Thomas Peter Kugias and Nathan Benjamin Myers. Kugias is certainly a serious candidate, but I don't think that either one of those two challengers is going to. I would say this is Judge Esrick's year. I don't want to say anything negative about anybody. I want to say positive.
He has been endorsed by every single committeeman.
Right.
And the thing is, the only reason he didn't win last time is he got outflanked by the best campaign manager in the area for judicial elections, Sean Tenner. And the first thing he did before anybody else even started to think about things is he hired Sean immediately.
Well, that makes sense. It makes sense. And good for him.
And by the way, he'll be here later today during the shoot.
Okay.
So he's a really good man. As a matter of fact, I hated that he and Megan ran against each other. Those were two very high quality people.
Well, of course, in 2000...
And by the way, Kugias is no slouch himself.
Oh, no, he's a quality candidate. The problem is I don't think he's got the kind of
support mechanism.
Yeah, whatever. The backing that certainly doesn't have anywhere close to the backing that Judge Ezrick has, and you know, when you can legitimately say that you've got every committeeman in the Ninth Sub-Circuit lined up behind you, you're really saying something. They don't tend to line up real well.
And they don't like each other one bit.
No. and the fact that, you know...
And they're all right about that.
The fact that they agree, you know, they agreed on this one, that's news.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Okay, let's move ahead to the next one.
10th Sub-Circuit, we've got a situation where we've got an appointed judge, Judge Eve Marie Riley, who was passed over for slating by the 10th Sub-Circuit committeeman in favor of Stephanie Saltoros. And there are a whole bunch of candidates who have filed in that race. There's 6 at the moment as we're sitting here. Richard Rick Sinar, Colleen Daly, who you've had on your program, Michael Malatesta, who you've already interviewed.
Right, and we also had Eve Marie Riley on the show.
Yes, and Timothy Matthew McQuillan, who filed at the last moment, an assistant state's attorney. So you've got some experience or some exposure with all of these people. So it's going to be an interesting race because they're all going to have some areas of support, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't know about the judge thing. At one point in time, that Irish name was gold. Then you'd think being a woman, of course, if you've got 5 men and 1 woman, that's one thing. But yeah, you never really know how this thing's going to turn out or shake out.
Well, okay, you mentioned the Irish name. Two of the 3 countywide circuit court candidates who are unopposed are Maureen O'Donoghue Hannon and Brendan O'Brien. And the third one is John Fitzgerald Like. John Fitzgerald Like is an African-American judge, but John Fitzgerald, it's got some Irish magic in it right there, too.
Well, we've got a Filipino Judge O'Brien, Jessica Arong O'Brien, who actually is a very nice person.
Right. And
speaking of Brendan, that's his wife.
Right. And so it's interesting that you have, there were some rather pungent comments on the blog this year when the slating came out for the county.
But by the way, Brendan, if we do play Layla together, be kind. I'm not that good.
I'm not going to ask. When
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, where was I?
He's running unopposed, so I wasn't.
Yeah.
So the fact is, you've got all these different factors involved. We don't know how the race is going to go.
That's right, and certainly in 10. In 12, we have an interesting situation where just today, as we're sitting here on December 2nd, 2 new vacancies have opened up in 12. So you're going to
really,
So you're going to have on the
4 of them.
Yeah. 4.
Wow.
4 vacancies in the 12th sub-circuit. So this is going to be a big operation going on there. We've got...
I have to increase my circulation over there.
Well, you're going to have to, increase your press run and start looking north, young man. That's where you got to go.
I'll tell you, we did very well in 12. We really did a good job of circulating. You know what? I actually do a lot of it myself because I care. I mean, nobody who works for me is going to care as much as me about getting them out there. But you know, I'll tell you something. Every single deli, every single place that serves like a knish or a corned beef sandwich or whatever that's not named O'Hurley's.
Yeah.
It's not a place to distribute a Jewish newspaper, but and I'd say falafel joint, but I don't want to send it to Abdul. I want to send it to Yossi.
I'll start moving away now and just kind of.
Well, no, I mean, listen, a Jewish paper isn't going to get picked up in a Muslim restaurant. It just doesn't work that way. But the one thing we can be sure of is that not enough people are going to vote. That's a perennial problem. Is that first of all, even though not enough people are going to vote in the primary in the first place, even though it's a presidential year. As you go down the ballot, even less people vote for the respective positions, and the chances are that 20% of those a minimum of 20% of those who pick up a ballot will not touch the judicial slate, which is why I always urge people to start at the bottom of the ballot and work your way up from there.
Every year, and I know you've heard it too, you run into people who say, I went to vote in November, and there was nobody to vote for. All the judges were unopposed. That's because the election really is the primary. That's
correct.
There are 3 unopposed circuit court judges. The appellate court candidates are unopposed, But there are 6 countywide races right now that are very heavily contested. There are 2 more that are probably going to be contested that are going to be in the special filing period that starts probably before this show airs.
Right.
So those decisions about who will sit in the Circuit Court of Cook County are made in March of 2016 in the Democratic primary for the most part. Unless you live in Barrington, where, the 13th sub-circuit, where there is going to be a Democrat-Republican contest, I believe.
Yeah, there are these 2 races in 12 also have Democrat
Right,
Republican.
and they're going to probably have all 4 be contested by the time we're done, simply because you've got a Republican who won the last time.
Yeah, a Republican did win last time, and an unqualified Republican against a highly qualified Democrat. And it should be pointed out, too, that there's no Republicans running in the judicial races in the sub-circuits in the city of Chicago. So, yeah, if you want to vote for a judge, you got to do it this time. We're out of time. As a matter of fact, we're over, but we'll just take the time away from somebody else. Jack Leyhane, for
Thank
what
you,
it's
Avi.
worth, the best judicial blog around, even if there was competition. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll check back in with you before the election.
Thank you.